In this video, I'm going to go over an update. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is the discovery I was able to file for. Also, I got the paperwork. The landlord is facing charges from the state and assault on a man who's just trying to hand him paperwork. Also, there's a lot more to go. But David needs an attorney for the eviction. He hasn't found one, I haven't found one, but I'm doing so well. He's like, can't you just be my attorney? Can't you just do the work for me? I'm like, David, I'm your literal house cleaner. I'm your caregiver. I literally just today, this morning, had to clean up about a pound of poop. His bag broke in the kitchen and it went all the way to the bathroom. I had and if you're wondering, with all this stuff going on, how the fuck do I get the bus tickets to go get all the paperwork for him? How are my kidneys doing? How the fuck do you get the bleach for the floor? How the fuck are you wiping your asshole? I mean, I had $0 for the last 2 months or more. I've had no money. All I had was the rent money. And the landlord refused to take it. And that was used on medical stuff. Weeks afterwards, I held on to the rent money for 4 weeks, and the landlord refused to take it. And after he has committed the assault, and I filed paperwork, he just filed for an eviction. Plus, the paperwork I filed had to be redone. His paperwork had to be redone too. So everything had to be redone. Now, nobody knows head up from down. But where's the money for the bus tickets? Well, one cleaner, actually, I bought all that. The bleach in the bathroom, not that. That's all I bought beforehand. I stock up on stuff like that before I go out of work. That's where all my money goes. All my money goes to doctors and cleaning the house, toilet paper, cat food, medical bills, anything like that. Anyways, there's 2 bottles of bleach in the bathroom, and I didn't pay for those. The toilet paper that I have, I didn't pay for that. I've been running around hurting my kidneys, and then I literally can't walk, but I get all this lawyer stuff done for my roommate, like, for instance, these printouts here, the pages in there. I also been contacting legal aid who will help me over the phone, but they say they don't have pro bono attorneys, but they do, and they won't give us one, so I don't know what that's about. Oh. I also had to get a sample of a bed bug, but we don't have any because I locked up the rooms that had them, both bedrooms. So how did I get a sample without spreading it through the house? We've already paid him for his spraying, so he knows they're here, but he's playing stupid. Well, if he's going to play stupid, well, don't we need evidence? Well, I have to get in my boxers. I have to go into the bedroom. I have to find a sample, bag it up. Then I have to go through the door in the bathroom, and I have to bag my underwear up in a trash bag. Then I have to take a sandpaper brick and some regular nice dish soap, or if I can, body wash, and I have to scrub any eggs or bugs off my body, and I can't miss anything. And I'm sitting in a chair because my kidneys are killing me. I have a neurological disorder. And with that neurological disorder, you think that fucking sandpaper helps me? Or do you think I twitch like fucking crazy in there? I almost fucking banged my head 3 times from that fucking sandpaper. But of course, we don't have money for anything special. So the sandpaper bricks I bought, the dish soap that my roommate bought, and the things that I'm doing is all I can do. Well, okay, things are kind of getting done. They're kind of, I'm fucking ending up in the emergency room over and over, and my kidneys are killing me, and they're useless in there. They're freaking useless. I mean, literally, if I was just allowed to bill my insurance, run the machines, and prescribe epilepsy medication, I guarantee I can do better. If drug dealers sold epilepsy medications of all types, some Ativan, and I was able to find a dealer that would do $50 for 1 hour in an MRI, like a MRI machine dealer or something, or whatever, oh, hey, can I borrow that ultrasound that you got there? I know you got it for your wife, but hey, if I give you $100, can I borrow the ultrasound? I'm pretty sure I could still do better by watching 100 ultrasound, how to identify certain diseases in an ultrasound, if I could find some pictures, videos, stuff like that. I probably could do better, seeing as they won't even run stuff. They just don't even do nothing as I show up. It's fucking stupid. I mean, I literally had black coming out of my penis, and these doctors don't want to even look. I'm not kidding. For the whole world could see it. My roommate, other people, I recorded it. They're all like, "Holy shit, you need something seriously wrong." But the doctors are like, "You don't need any testing." Doctor, have you looked at me yet? Yeah, I'm looking at you. No, I mean, looked at me pissing black? Like, that's not normal. Well, no. But we'll wait for a sample. I give them a sample. It is not normal. It's dark, dark, dark brown. Now, the first two are black with green. The third one's dark, almost black. And what's funny is the blackish green one stayed that color for about 30 days and then changed the dark brownish, whatever the fuck that means. But the doctor then just releases me. No drugs in your system, so I don't know what it is, but go see a urologist. You know, it might be helpful if we run more testing. Nope. Bye-bye. And then urology is like, yeah, we can help you. Is next year okay? That's 12 months from now. I'm hurt. My kidneys have increased in pain for the last 72 hours, and they are increasing every day, and my urine turned black. I don't know if I have a year, lady. Well, that's all we can. You can try to call to get in early. Why is this the case for me? Meanwhile, other people in the same town, in the same tax bracket, on the same insurance company, with the same like kidney stones, like my co-workers. Why are they getting different treatment than me from the very minute they walk into the hospital? Because my doctors, the emergency room doctors, my workers have been misinformed by my father, but they want to listen to my father over me because it sounds better, and he had a lot more money than me to build his story up with his wife. Now, he didn't know what he was doing. My mother did, though. My mother knew exactly what she was doing. She knew exactly what would be the results of her fucked up actions. But my father was there for the ride. He's like, oh, yes, this is a great ride. We fuck over the sun, and you get to not have to deal with this, and I get to run off in this. Yeah, I love this ride. So, yeah, I don't love my father's and mother's ride. I'm going to die from it. I don't get to make money. I don't get to drive until he stops fucking around and on this ride of his. On this fantasy world ride. I wish one of these days my father would come to the real world and see what everybody else sees on a daily basis. All he has to do is spend some time with me. Now, he has seen this for himself and just ignored it. Like somebody touching me and I jump my ceiling up, my head almost hits the ceiling. We're watching fireworks and I slam to the ground. I'm bumping in the furniture, got scabs. I jump into a pool. My mother's acting crazy. My mother's admitting that she gave me extra medication and she thinks punishing me with extra medication is okay. And she thinks giving extra medication to a child whenever is okay. I mean, I have plenty of memories, PTSD. She was drugging me on Halloween, my own adoption. And this wasn't like drugging me, like taking and getting me meds for a doctor. I mean, like all of a sudden slipping her own meds in. I get so drowsy that I can't even, I want to curl up on the floor. This is supposed to be an adoption party. Meanwhile, she tells nobody what she's doing. And then the next day, that med is not given to me, so I'm not having that reaction. And also, she slipped me meds because she didn't want to watch a movie. I don't really know why she slipped me the meds, but seeing as we were supposed to sit down and watch a movie, and right before the movie is when she slipped me the pills, and then I experienced an overdose as the movie was starting, I would say that she just didn't want to watch a kid's thing, wanted to change the channel, and figured putting me to sleep would get her way. I mean, because this is what I've realized. Every time my mother wasn't getting her way, she gave me a pill, and something happened to me, and then she tried to get her way. And usually she did get her way right after. That's not good. So we have records, too, of teachers from age 7 in Westford and things, but my father doesn't want to unbury those. And even, it's really hard. That's from 1999. That was paper records, most likely. And they transferred it over. Plus, who knows how easy that is to get. And if they have records from what I'm saying and what the teachers are saying, they also got my mother's bullshit there, too. So you got to be able to talk to me to figure out what was going on. Without my knowledge, you can't really get anything. And my mother was misleading everybody. And my father does have some knowledge that might be helpful towards this, but he's thrown that out for a fantasy. So don't expect him to ever want to handle this at all. I mean, like my roommates and my friends see me have a seizure, they're worried. I'm bleeding all over the place. I can't talk or walk. They see me wanting things like I want this and I want this, but I can't get it. Get me over there. Get me over there. I want this shit. I can't get up. Get me this shit. So they see how angry I get that I can't stand up or I can't move. Everybody knows this is real for at least 25 years at time to time. Friends, family members, all over. But yet, my father continues to live in fantasy land. It's not real, it's not real, it's not real. You guys are just seeing it, it's a shared fantasy. All you guys are just sharing a fantasy. No, he's a liar. He's a liar. He does things to me. Yeah, Zach is trying to get back at me. Yeah, he hates me. Yeah, he wants to hurt me. That's what it is. All that bullshit. All that bullshit that my mother trained into him. My mother was jealous of my toys and used to throw them away. Not only that, I won a swimming medal in an orphanage. When I tried to show it to her, she got me medicated, lied to doctors, and she said, my son is out to get me because he's writing his old name on things. It has nothing to do with that. They wrote that name on there in the orphanage because it was my name and we hadn't met you before. We didn't know there was a crazy woman back then. We had no idea that there was a woman that liked to give pills to children. We didn't know that. Back then, I was just in the orphanage, and they were looking for foster care parents for me, and they were trying to build up our self-esteem, so they brought us to the YMCA, and whoever treaded water the best got a medal, and it just happened to be me. That's all. And my name started with a Z and ended with a G. So guess what the staff member put on the medal on the back with the Sharpie? ZG. But then, in my Lego box, I pull it out, look at it, I show it to my new foster mother, just adopted me, who just changed my name, and what do you think she does? She goes completely bonkers. Completely nuts. They even say, it's not your medal, it's not your medal, I'm taking it from you. It's not yours. They have no right, it was mine for sure. I brought it into that house. The orphanage knew I had it. They knew it was in the Lego, so no other kid would take it. And there's at least 15 kids who saw me want it. But that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is my mother's and father's fantasies. Whatever they can come up with in there, well, we never saw it, and we don't believe it, so that means it's stolen and we did the right thing. And they'll tell themselves that to justify their actions over and over. Well, Zach wanted to go to Texas, so it was all his fault. Well, it's New Mexico's fault. Yeah, they hired the black guy to beat him, that did all that. Yeah, it's not our fault that we didn't do a walk around. I mean, 1 hour a month to see your child, that's normal, right? And that big field full of rattlesnakes, I mean, they didn't tell me that the kids would be playing in there, but, I mean, yeah, that's how I'm going to justify this in my own head. Oh, and my wife throwing shoes at my son and rulers? Well, my son is a jerk. My son's a shithead. Yeah, let me shovel this shit on his head and point ha 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 at him. Yeah, it's his fault he can't read. Yeah. It's his fault he's slow. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the 4 years of education he's missing and the fact that most education he got was a big fat dog farting in his face, or don't stick your hand in a hole, or stick this nice little leaves to a top of a glued roof, and this is an Indian book we're going to read to you for 3 months, and then homeschooling on the range of Ogunquit while my father makes money, and then my mother just pouring shit on my head, making up stories while trying to get me into whatever school she feels like. The only normal school I got was Chelmsford Middle School, and no matter what I did, that wasn't going to work out. Yeah, let's take away 4 years of education and then drop him in a public school. Yeah, I'm going to be able to do those classes. Now, luckily, I'm very smart, and I work 10 times harder than any kid, and I'm able to fill in the blanks. But, of course, it's not going to work. I didn't have 4 years previously. I had extracurricular activity. If you dropped me on the mountains of some mountain, and you gave me a shack I could go back to get warm in, I'd probably do okay. I could even get you crickets and animals for dinner. By the age of 10 years old, I could literally get supper from the middle of a woods. You could drop me in a jungle, and I would know, stay away from that and grab the crickets. Then lure them out and see what you can get. We know the gardener snakes we could pick up, but not that. I mean, I could pretty much get you snake, gopher, any crickets and grasshoppers. Oh, I could get you a shitload of chocolate covered ants. I mean, at the age of 9, I was already able to forage 20 pounds of food a day if I needed. I didn't eat any of it, but we were catching so much bugs that I know I could easily put a sticky strip out and get 100 red ants. I know I could easily collect 20 grasshoppers and 20 crickets by the end of the day. I know I could catch at least one tarantula a week. I know I could catch at least one non-poisonous snake a month. And as far as the gophers, we just have to wait and lure them out, and then they were pretty easy to catch with a net or something. Also, there was a place where fish just try to jump. You could block it off and catch the fish. But 2 divided by 2, 5 division at all? Forget it. We skipped that. I skipped that. We were just about to start division in Texas before they uprooted me, and then everything stopped for about 3 years. 3 years missing, and I redid first grade, so I'm already 1 year behind and relearn the same thing over. And on top of this, they had to reevaluate my education in Texas, and they didn't have to reevaluate my education in New Mexico because everybody was at different levels. Remember this, you had kids as young as 7 all the way up to as old as 14, and all these kids are in the same class. I mean, yes, they said they did like different groups, but no, they had one teacher that was only there for 3 months, driving like 3 hours up a mountain, and then she said it was too much of a long commute. She's sorry, kids, she wouldn't be coming back. She, oh, I like you kids very much, but I'm sorry, I'm going to be leaving. She gave us all that speech. And then the teachers took over, the staff became teachers. Yeah, the teachers took over the teacher. Yeah, right. Well, that makes no frickin' sense. Sorry, that's my neurological disorder. Anyways, the staff members took over the teaching positions and became the teachers, where they did extracurricular activity, like looking for fossils, stuff like that. Then within about 9 months or so, this guy came in, because it's almost a whole year or so before we had anybody actually like with a teaching degree or anything. It was just the normal staff members, and he only did like 1 class a week next door. He had a computer next there, would play videos on about Indians, and everything was about the Native Americans up there. And all of us were different levels, so he wasn't able to really do like a writing class or reading. Like he did read to us, but some of us couldn't read while other ones could, and so it was just total nonsense made up. And the guys would talk about how good, we're getting a pool in a couple years. We're getting a pool in a couple years. Oh, and we're gonna get a great dorm right over there. Oh, so I'm gonna get a dorm. Oh, no, not you kids. You kids get to play with the rattlesnakes, and we're gonna suck your parents dry. But 3 years from now, we'll have the place built, and then we'll try really having the people here. But no, nope, we don't get that. And so my father goes, no, that place was fucked up, but it's their fault, and I said sorry. And Zach forgave me for that. But how about all the other stuff? How about the stuff that happened after that? Did he learn anything from it? Did my father learn anything after he won that money and he knows I got hurt? Or does he even believe I got hurt? Maybe he just sued them and it's oh no, it was another fantasy and we just wanted to sue to get our money back. Or is that the bullshit that he's gonna justify himself with? I mean, goddamn, you couldn't possibly think that some place like that, I mean, even driving up to this place, I mean, you clearly can see there's problems. Clearly. These are parents that are very rich and just don't want to raise their kid for a while. They want to go on vacation for 18 months. And that's a choice you make, and that's fine, but then you gotta make it up. And then if your kid turns 31 and he comes to you and goes, you're gonna fucking handle shit, don't be surprised you had 15 years of vacations when your child needed needs like food, water, shelter, education, health care. Those are the needs that you need to provide to your child. And if you miss those, then that's neglect, and your child could get hurt or become an adult with liver failure, or become an adult who has seizures or a neurological disorder, or maybe he's an adult that can't drive. And yes, it would be the parents' fault for doing this to their child. You traded your child's future and health for your own happiness. Okay. Well, how about David? Do I have to? Nope, nope. David has his own thing. He fucked his own childs over. He cared nothing about his own children, so they threw him the fucking out. And they beat the living shit out of him. Oh, yeah. David's children beat the living shit out of him before throwing him out. I'm not kidding. We're talking rods. We're talking about his children picked up rods and beat their father up, and the mother let it happen and then said, don't fucking come back. Then they ran off and never looked back. I would too if my father's like that, but my father has something of mine that he doesn't want to give back. The truth. My life. Right now, I have to live in his wife's fantasy because that's the way he wanted it during my childhood from age 7 all the way to 19. And then at age 19, I was dropped off in the woods and I couldn't figure out how to fix it because I can't fix it. It's not my mess to clean up, it's my father's. As much as I want to fix this, as much as I've spent, oh my God, thousands of dollars and a million hours of my time trying to clean up this my wife's lies and fantasies to doctors so I can get proper health care, so I can work a job, so I can collect my Social Security. As much as I try to clean that up, it's not my mess to clean up, so it's almost impossible, or it might even be impossible, for me to clean up. Meanwhile, there's somebody out there that can clean it up in like a month's time, maybe. It depends on how you do it and how much what you do. But yeah, as long as my father's lying and keeps on just throwing out, it's a fantasy, it's a lie, he's mentally ill, I don't want to do it, no, it didn't happen, didn't happen. And whatever makes him feel good, right? Whatever fucking makes him feel good, and then everybody else gets to see me have seizures and bloodied up. The people who care about me, my coworkers, my manager, the people that rely on me. I mean, everybody seems to get so attached to me. It's because I'm so kind-hearted and I'm always forgiving and I never get really violent. I talk a lot. I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. I'll say, fucking don't get near me. No. I'll fucking, no. You just, no. Fucking get your shit away from me. No. I don't care. I need an ambulance. You're not fucking having sex with my ear. Get the fuck away from me, you freak. I will say shit like that. I mean, there are a lot of weird people out there that will try to come and hurt you, and you need to be able to make it clear. So it's not like I let people walk all over me anymore. But I just don't have a violent or angry bone in my body. I mean, I get angry like everybody else. I have emotions. The fact that people are literally getting me hurt and with their lies and their stories and their years of spending money with psychiatrists and brainwashing me or trying to convince me to repeat things that aren't true and then I think they are true. All that shit. Of course I'm angry about it. But have I ever taken a baseball bat and hit my father? Absolutely not. Have I ever took a fist to my father? Absolutely not. Have I ever smacked my father? Absolutely not. Has my father backhand or smacked me? Absolutely. Has my mother smacked me? Absolutely. Has my mother used a wooden object to my face? Maybe. Has my mother used a metal object like a sword to my face? Yes. Has my mother used a plastic corner of a ruler where the seam is, where it's really hard, so it's not a slap, it's a cut, to my body, face, arm, stomach, wherever she can aim? Yes. Has my mother almost took my eye out with a high-heeled shoe because she couldn't control her anger? Yes. Has my mother ever slipped me pills to try to get her way, like change the TV channel, make it so I can't go out trick-or-treating on multiple years in a row because she's saying I can't, but everybody else says I can, so I get permission to go out, but she's not getting her way? So yes. Has she ever done things sketchy, like brought out 2 cookies and told somebody else they can't have the other cookie? Yes. Has my mother ever lost it and gave me extra medication? Yes. Has my mother ever admitted to giving me extra medication in an inappropriate way? Many times. Has my father ever been lost while my mother's not doing the right thing? Yes. Has my father been standing there while my mother's using dangerous language admitting to crimes? Yes. Did my father understand what was going on in those times? No. Does my father care if I live or die? No. He'd rather have me die and keep his secrets. Does my father care about my pain and suffering? No. Does my father ever tell the truth when I'm telling the truth? No. Does my father make up lies and fantasies and call me a liar and a fantasy maker? Yes. Do I make up fantasies or do I lie? No. Do I lie when I'm supposed to at work? No. Do I get in trouble for being too honest? Yes. Do I need to learn how to lie in certain times where it's important at work or with your girlfriend? Yes, but I can't do it. I want to stick to the truth. If it's not true, I don't want to hear it. And that's my opinion. And that's how I am. Yes, it sucks. You know how many times I got hurt or I've been afraid to just spit it out and I do anyways? And people seem to respect me for it. Yeah, they get angry. But like a week later, they're like, you know what, Zach? I like that about you. Like one guy was about to go to somebody and get robbed. And I said, fuck you, you've robbed me before. And he's like, you dare say that to me? I speak the truth. Not only that, then the other guy goes, why did you not allow me to go? And I just explained to him, well, he did rob me, and I don't want that to happen to you. Now, that might be a bad example. Let's give a better example. I'm at work, and something is broken down, stealing money from the customers, and the customers ask what's going on. I explained that there is a machine broken on the fritz that is taking money, because that's exactly what my manager told me what was wrong. But she told me to lie about it. But I can't lie about anything. Okay, would it be easier for me to lie to Social Security and go along with my mother's lies and fantasies? Yes, I would already be getting money. But I can't lie. No matter what, I can't know all the lies my mother spun to them. Not only that, the lies I do know my mother spun, I know aren't true. So no matter how much money is on the table, I am not willing to lie. How about, do I want money from my father? No. Do I want my life back from my father? Yes. Can I get proper health care? No. Why can't I get proper health care? Because somebody else made sure that I couldn't do that. They were making sure whenever proper health care came my way, they put up every wall, took evasive action, moved me from state to state to state, cutting off the doctors as soon as I opened up my mouth about the real issue. As soon as I talked about my physical health, the coordination issue, the neurological disorder, the seizures, the shakes, the bumping in the furniture, anytime I talked about any of that, my mother would go off the rails. It's a fantasy. We need to move him to Texas. We need to move him to Mexico. Cut off the doctors. Cut off the teachers. Oh, I want to change in scenery. I want to change in scenery. No, he has attachment disorder, so we need to put him up there. We need to cut off the doctors. We need is what my mother said. Is this right? No, it's not proper behavior. Did my mother ever act appropriate? Yes. Could she hold it together? Yes. Did my mother have a mental illness? Yes. Did my mother get help for any of her nuttiness, craziness, or mental illness? No. Did she need help? Yes. Was she a drinker? Yes. Did she pop pills that weren't hers? Yes. Did she ever give pills that weren't supposed to be given to her child? Yes. Did my father ever see stuff that might be illegal or inappropriate coming from my mother? Yes. Did he ever do anything about it? No. Did he try to see what was going on or investigate the problems of his wife or son? No. Did my father want to know what's going on with his wife? No. Did he like living in fantasy land where everything is rainbows and fairy tales? Yes. Is he still living in the fairyland with rainbows and butterflies? Yes. Is he trying to just relax, drink, try to forget everything that happened? Yes. Did my father move on from my mother as soon as she passed away? Yes. Did he forget everything that happened as soon as he remarried? Yes. Does he care a living shit about his son that literally kept this family together by taking his second wife's shit until he was crippled? No. He doesn't give a shit. Am I still gonna fucking try to take this out and fix it? Yes. Am I going to try to talk to the people involved and have them take responsibility for their actions? Yes. Will living like a chipmunk in the woods allow me to do that? No. Will I have to live like a chipmunk in the woods because of my father's and mother's choices? Most likely, again, yes, and I've had to, yes. Am I losing my apartment now? Yes. Why am I losing an apartment? Is it from any choices I made? No. Is it from any choices my mother and father made? Yes. Is it from any disability that's been with me for 25 years or more? Yes. Is there any other disabilities that are getting in the way? Yes. Are you getting thrown out because of your disabilities? Yes. Are your disabilities being discriminated against because your mother and father made poor choices? Yes. Are your mother and father trying to take responsibility for their choices? No. Is your mother alive? No. Did she die under suspicious circumstances, like when she came home from the hospital for one day? Yes. Do you know why she died of liver failure? Yes. Does my father want to admit why? No. Does my father like me talking like this? No. Does he give a shit if people talk like this about me? No. Can people talk shit, burn me, kick me, stab me, take money from me, use me for Social Security, use me, steal my inheritance, try to use me up, try to lie about my disabilities, make up stories about me? Can people do these things freely in front of my father? Yes. Does anybody care if people do these things to me? Yes, me only. How about anybody other than me? No. Do my friends, family, and coworkers care about me? Yes. Would they allow somebody to do something like that to me? No, they'd hunt them down with a fucking baseball bat. Why? Because they cry for me when they hear the shit that comes out of my family's mouth. Sometimes I put it on speaker and somebody will be in the background and they'll say, "Wow, do your fucking parents suck?" And is that good for me to do? No. Would I do it if I already hadn't heard it 3,000 times? No. When I tell other people how my father treats me, they cannot believe it. They say, "Zach, you're not no thief. People steal from you and I can leave $1,000 on the table for a year and you'll still be there. Oh, by the way, the old man here, I now have an account. He spent his goddamn rent money. I kept on telling him not to spend the rent money. Don't, use your cigarette budget to buy the things you need right now and put away the rent money. He's spending it. So guess what? I'm holding it in a separate co-bank account with no debit cards, and I don't need to touch it. Why? Because everybody trusts me. I literally have the keys to 3 stores, and I have to report any dollars missing where we have money missing, and I had to make sure and count it and have a talk with her, and I cleared it up. I don't think the company knew about that one because I just put my own money in. But after it happened again, it went up the chain. It went up the chain. Anyways, so people say I'm too trustworthy and I'm too honest. I'm a goody two shoes and I need to learn to lie a little bit. They tell it to me all the time. "Zach, learn to lie a little bit." And I say, "I can't." "Why can't you? It's just a white lie. It's just some little thing." No, you can. It's your job. Yeah, you can. And then I explain to them that people make up stories about me lying. So I have to stick to the honesty 24/7, the truth. Now, I can make a mistake. I can think that a balloon is blue and it was really bluish green. Something like that might happen. But as far as me purposely not telling the truth, that has never happened, even at the age of 12 on. Now, I've tried that. Oh, actually, I should say I didn't lie during childhood any more than any kid. I mean, my father and mother were lying on a daily basis when I was around. It was flowing like gravy out of my mother. My father actually tries to stick to honesty. I don't think he purposely lied. I think my mother would come up with a lie, and then my father would just back the lie. I'm not quite sure, but some of these were blatant. Some of these were so fucking blatant. Like one time she said she did not throw a shoe at me at all. She didn't, nope, I never threw a shoe at Zach. Meanwhile, my father's sitting by there, and he's remembering it. You can say, whoa, you can hear it click to him, because it wasn't that long ago. And then I'm over there going, "No, you're lying. You know that. You know that. We just talked about that. You do know about the shoe." So those are blatant lies. And my father isn't trying to correct her. I am literally like, "Come on here. I'm trying to don't let her abuse me anymore. Come on. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but please stop it." And it hurts. It really hurts inside my body, on the outside of my body. I'm falling down, and winter is fucking a killer. Please stop her, somebody. But no, There's even an unregistered gun in the same room as her, as she acts psycho and insane. Do you know how worrisome that was to me? I thought that one day she might slip, drug me too much, I die horribly, and then she just puts a gun in my hand and tries to make it seem suicide or something. I mean, come on, my mother was blaming me trying to act like I was suicidal at the age of 7 because I was sucking on my skin. I mean, everything was suicide to her. I'll tell you what, you want to know the only suicide stuff in my whole history? Here's the list of real stuff that should be on my real record. Everything else is bullshit. But here's the real ones. I was taking 3 different medications that said on the paperwork, if your son has suicidal thoughts or depression, consult a doctor right away. I took those pills, and then an hour later, I started to get real sad because I stole money. Oh, yes, but there's more to that one. An older adult told me, it's okay, it's just models. It's okay, you can tell your mother later, she'll be okay with it. So there was a little more to that one, but nope, that was wrong. I had to learn that lesson. Do not listen to other adults. This was one of the older ones, like I think he was 17 or 19. There was a 19-year-old, 17-year-old, and I think the twins were both 17. Yeah, it was one of the twins, I'm pretty sure. It could have been the older one with the car, too. They were just getting rid of some stuff. Anyways, whichever one it was, he was almost adult age to me, and he's telling me, no, it's okay, it's okay. So, yep, no more than any kid. And this was for models. Remember that. This is for models that I'm just trying to paint. So I'm depressed about that, real sad. One of the reasons why I'm so honest today and I don't steal. Also, now I have to make it up to my father somehow. And I have to make it up to my mother. But, anyways, the medications start kicking in. I start getting real sad. Then I have an idea. I start feeling suicidal and I take like 5 aspirin. Just 5 aspirin, but then I still feel really sad and this weird sinking fear feeling. And I tell my mother and father, they bring me to the hospital, and that's my suicide attempt right there. That's it. Now, later I find out that the medications were the problem. That sinking fear feeling continued a lot of the time until I was off the medication, and then all of a sudden that didn't happen anymore. That was something that took me years of experimenting to realize, oh, don't take these fucking pills that my mother wants me to take. It makes you feel really fucked up. But my mother didn't want to read the paperwork. She just said, more pills, more pills, more pills. I don't know what that paperwork says, but give him more pills, more pills. I think he needs more pills. I think he needs more pills. I think I want him on more pills. I don't care what you say, doctor. I know what I'm doing. Give him more pills. I used to be a nurse, and I know everything, so give him more pills. So, that's bad. The other real suicide attempt is not even a suicide attempt. I was goth, and everybody said goths were cutters. My mother already spent 10 years with bullshit. I don't know really what this is, what everybody's saying, and apparently my style goth / emo hippie, like rainbow with black. Black skulls with rainbow. That's my style choice right there for like 4 years. But everybody says I got to be a cutter to fulfill the style. So I take a clean piece of glass, I heat it up, and I do light skin cuts. And I don't even feel it because I have that numbness in my nervous system just on the skin ending. Like when I try to hold a coffee mug, it might slip out of my hand, or the phone might slip out of my hand, only because I can't feel the phone. I have to kind of like really squeeze it like I'm about to throw a baseball. I have to really squeeze it and I still can't feel it. I just know I'm squeezing real hard. But yeah, if I hold the phone, I don't feel the phone in my hand, and I don't feel a coffee mug, and I don't feel always my skin until you really push a little more, and then I get a big shock through my nervous system. It's weird. I don't really feel anything on the surface, but once when you just give a little more pressure underneath, it's like a really sensitive nerve. So it's really hard to explain. But anyway, so skin on the top, can't feel. When I take a razor blade and go deeper, what I didn't realize, because I didn't purposely cut myself at all, but I cut myself deep, my late 20s, yeah. Anyway, so, and that's it. Just some light cuts that disappeared after a couple of years because they were so light. That's it. Left arm, by the way, left arm. That's it. Just some light cuts on the left arm to fulfill my emo style. And so those 2 actual events are the only real close stuff to suicide. You got one day of cutting. Oh, nope, sorry. In one of the programs, I did do some light cuts to my thighs and my shoulder. This was at the same time as the glass. But nobody ever saw that because those were hidden, and it didn't do anything for me. And there we go. But my mother said, I'm a cutter, I'm a cutter, I'm a cutter. And at the time, that's probably just true. So I have to go. But she's pushing it as a bigger thing. But remember, my mother was calling me suicidal for sucking on my skin because she gave me an overdose and there was a change in my nervous system. Then she also called me a self-harmer because I was bumping in the furniture. She also said because I jumped into a pool and caught the back of my foot that I must be slicing the back of my foot open on the heel. So this was after years and years of my mother doing this bullshit. And then she made up a couple more too afterwards. Like I was climbing a tree and I twitched and lost my footing and I caught my arm on the branch. At first I thought it was the back of the knife, but then it was the branch. You could see it was more of a branch scrape. It wasn't a cut, or like it would be way worse with the back of the knife or the front. This was definitely a scrape. And when you looked up at the tree where the branch broke from my trying to catch myself with the foot after I twitched and putting too much pressure down, because it was just a slight twitch. I was just cutting the branch, and all of a sudden I felt a jolt, and I pushed my left foot a little too much, and the whole branch under my feet fell. It was like a twitch, push, off motion with the feet. I don't know how to describe it, but I was just not in control. I got a little tiny spasm. I thought that the alcohol that I had down below the tree, that I was the only person trying to sip on, would make that not happen. Because that's what I experienced so far whenever my mother gave me booze. Which this is the same strawberry schnapps that my mother poured a whole glass of and told me it was just watermelon flavoring. Which I loved. I loved that watermelon flavoring stuff. My mother used to give me that watermelon flavoring for liquor all the time. But this one wasn't watermelon flavoring. It was schnapps with like 22 in the 20 range of alcohol. Well, same bottle. My mother poured me a big glass. Fuck it. I'm going to take this out back and I'm going to see if it really works. And I took one swig and I didn't wait even a minute and I went up in the tree to see if it worked. I should have probably taken 5 swigs and waited maybe an hour, and I probably should have waited 5 years so I could be age 21. Or age 20? No. Yeah, probably age 20. Probably should have waited about 5 years. Age 20 is good enough for somebody who's already dying, can't drive a car, having seizures. I mean, if you had your life taken away to that point, nobody cares if you drink. I actually don't drink, by the way. Never. Even when I'm having seizures, even though when I know it will help me, because you only get so far. By a year's time, you're fucked. So you can't use that as a cure. But at 15 to 24, didn't quite know what my body was like. I'm still figuring out what different drugs do. Is my mother telling the truth about these pills? Oh, no, she's not. It helps me sleep, but oh, something's wrong. Something's wrong here. Now I found out that the government has awarded $200,000 to anybody who has overprescribed Seroquel or antipsychotics during childhood. Now here's the problem. My mother was the person who fucking got in the way. So yes, I was overprescribed. Yes, they did it for sleep. Yes, it affected me in horrible ways. Yes, I am the number one type of person that money was awarded to. If I could get a lawyer, I am the prime person to collect that money. But my mother gave false information to the doctors. That could be used in court against me, that my mother's a complete fucking lunatic that gave false information to the doctors to begin with. But anyway, so yeah, they did that too. All these type of things. So yeah, I had a scratch on my arm from falling off a tree, and my mother said, he's self-harming, he's slicing his arm open. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm telling your doctor, I'm telling everybody. Meanwhile, there's 2 people, not just me. There's another witness trying to tell her, calm down. This isn't what you think it is. But anytime I got any injury whatsoever, even when there's 20 witnesses saying I just jumped into a pool, my mother's going to turn it into a mental illness to cover up her crimes. That's why she did it. If she kept on doing this, it would bury the truth. And now I'm 31 and I can't get medical care for the truth. My father wants to keep it this way. Yeah, he gets to run off in the sunset. I get to die a horrible, painful death in the woods. And then maybe I'll keep his secret so he can fucking not get a black mark on his record. Well, I'm not keeping no secrets. I've already made sure that, yeah, if I die, oh, his family's fucked. Oh, boy. There's going to be about 200 people and about another 200,000 people that learn with this, with records, pictures, and they got cars to go get it. See, I'm too disabled to drive and pick up what I'm talking about, but it exists, it's there. And all it takes is probably a year of hard work. And there are people who would love to do that. Just not for me, and I'm working with my father because it's a much easier way. I don't have to go nuts and go on a rampage. I don't have to give anybody anything. My biological family doesn't have to know about this until after it's already been treated, so I can give them like, calm down, it's okay. Yes, she's dead, and he handled it now. I know it's been a while, I know, and I know you guys saw I didn't look too good and I was smoking cigarettes, and Randy, I wasn't allowed to see all you, and I know you guys blame me because I had to pick between you three, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to pick one of three. But my parents, they told me it was either that or I don't get to see any of you. So it was either I pick one or none. I'm sorry, but you still blame me for that? Yep, okay. Anyway, so we got that going on. Oh, I'm out of time. This won't save.